Joel Osteen made an excellent video that I will link to below, and it has to do with basically do not dismiss a negative thought, replace it. That's a very good advice. The difference between dismissing a negative thought and replacing a negative thought is similar to Neville Goddard's teachings of revision. In other words, it's easy enough to just ignore a negative feeling, like, you don't want to think about it, but it'll come back. It'll always come back. But if you replace it, if you shift it, then, it has to turn into something else entirely. It'll have to be a different subject matter entirely to have any validity. And then from there, you can, replace that thought too. But what I'm saying is that it is more... you are more keen to replace the thought than to just dismiss the thought. And I can give examples. For example, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a shitty game. It's a fucking terrible game. And unfortunately, I'm not saying it's not possible, but I'm not at the level to teach you how to literally mind control people to force them to make a different game that is actually playable and palpable. But what I can do is tell you that there are thoughts that you can have to make it not so bad. For example, Takahashi's dead. That's great to hear. Applause, everybody. But also, but let's talk about YouTubers, for example. MBT is a terrible person. There's a lot of the YouTubers I don't mind. Team APS, CMO. They seem like good people. I like them. But MBT is a man-child, and he is a very antagonizing human being, quote unquote. And he's just a bad person. He's a bully. He likes to bully his fan base. These are people that are giving him money and attention, and he's responding with banning them on Discord and his streams and things. That's not how you treat your fans. I wouldn't do that to you. Not that I really am out to make money anyway. I do not monetize videos or anything like that, because I have no intention of monetizing my work. And I don't want that liability. I don't want, any of that bullshit. But see, MBT feels entitled to making money, but he doesn't want liability. He doesn't want to be, the center of attention in a negative way. He's a very entitled man. I'll put it that way. He's a very entitled man. And there's no excuse for that. It'd be one thing if he was nice to his fans and everything, and he was making money on the side. Hey, that's all well and good. But, he's not doing that. That is not the reality. And it would be one thing to just deny the reality and say, oh, well, I'm just not going to think about what a shitty fucking person MBT is. It's not right. And as the God of this world, as the self-actualized God, I do not have to put up with that. So, what I do is I just report every single fucking video he ever makes. As soon as he releases a video, bam, report it. I don't fucking care. I don't like moderators, obviously, but he does. So, let him have the world that he wants. Let him have exactly what he wants. And make him learn from it. If he likes moderating his fan base, he shouldn't mind when it's done to him. I'm sure he does. Especially if it costs him his monetization. Because this interesting, how when we talk about banning people, we say it jokingly, even though that treats us as less than a human being. That treats us like a fucking animal or something. We have the right to express ourselves and to interact with other people. That is a human idea, and you are dehumanizing us when you take that from us. But nobody cares about that. But when you say demonetization, suddenly we have a problem. Suddenly there's censorship and things like that. And all demonetization means is that you're not making money on YouTube as an institution. That's all it fucking means. You can make money anywhere. You can do anything to make money. And the fact of the matter is that you're putting more emphasis on making money than you are on being a human being that is able to practice making money. Do you see what I'm saying? You're putting the fucking wagon before the horse. It's insanity. And, so like I said, there's multiple layers to these problems. But the fact of the matter is, MBT should not be treating his fans that way. MBT is a bad person, and I want him to have a terrible day. And he will have a terrible day. That is God's will. So it is just that simple, and I don't give it further thought than that. Simple as. Just, won't explain further, Chad meme. It's like, And people can argue with me that that's hypocritical or that's wrong or whatever, but isn't it nice that you have the right to express those feelings? Isn't it nice that I respect you enough as a human being to tell me that I'm doing wrong? Because by all means, explain it to me. I would like to hear your input. If you think there's a better way to go about it, then tell me. You know, we all want a better world, supposedly. We all theoretically want life to be better, where we're not miserable all the time, where we're not struggling all the time. But you can't even play a goddamn game without there being struggle and turmoil and frustration and PTSD, basically. So explain to me what you would do in that juncture. You know, but we're not able to even have that discussion because of the fucking moderators and things like that. So you see where I'm going with this, that there is just a multitude of problems, and rather than dismiss the problem, I'm not going to ignore the problem, but I am going to replace the problem. I am going to shift the problem, and I am going to shift my thoughts into something at least semi-constructive. That is what I think Joel Osteen meant. And he might disagree with how I word things. He might disagree with my demeanor. He might find it a little degenerate. But, you know, I think we're on the same page here when it comes to that. So I think that's all I have to say.